Hey, everybody, it's Bernie Gallerani bringing you another episode of Success is Not Convenient. This is where we dive deep into all the ups and downs and goods and bads about running a business and what you go through mentally and physically and all of the other things that come with trying to be an entrepreneur. As we all know, being a successful owner is never all that successful at times. Actually, most of the time, it's not successful being an entrepreneur. It has a level of success, but what are the chances that you're going to get everybody to support you in your effort of building a business or even support you in anything that's significant? So, what I want to talk about today, as our topic today, is why others will not always support you. Why don't all of your people jump on the bandwagon with all of your great ideas and your enthusiasm? Because that's not the way it works, unfortunately. Why aren't they always going to support you? Because they're not always going to support you. You really want people that you feel are going to be on your side, but we have to always or must understand that most people don't have what it takes to be successful and or the ability to support you in that. Others might not understand how to support you or believe in your dreams, especially when it comes to your business ideas and your personal goals. You're not always going to find people that are going to be super excited as you are excited about the goals. And the reason why is they just can't see your vision. Most people only believe in what they can see right now. They have their vision lives within their imagination. It's invisible to them in reality. Let me just say that to you again. Most people live in what goes on inside of their brain, what goes on inside of their imagination, but it never becomes a reality for most people. And the reason why it doesn't become a reality to most people is they're just too comfortable in that they have goals and they have dreams, but they certainly have a lot of fear and a lot of fear of what we would call risk, right? Whatever risk means, right? It's fear versus courage. Fear versus courage is really, I think, the component in saying I'm willing to go through fear of whatever that means. Fear is, right? False evidence appearing real. It's just a made up process in our brain. And fear of failure is probably the biggest barrier, I would say. Many people imagine the pain of failing more vividly than the satisfaction of succeeding. So they never actually start. They never really take action in their goal because they're too afraid to fail and they're too comfortable with what they have. Is that you? Are you a person who has all these goals and dreams and things that, you hope could someday expand and better your life? See, those who act tend to reframe failure. They see it as feedback of what doesn't work. When you have to change the way you look at your situation, if you're looking at changing the way you look at fear, fear is nothing more than saying, if it didn't work out this way, it's just showing me a way that it didn't work, but there is going to be a way that it will work, right? You have to have some level of clarity of purpose. What is your why, right? I hate using that word, but what is your why? What is your clarity of your purpose and why? Some people have a vague vision, like I want to do something great, but have no clear steps, and they freeze. Like they think about the dream and the idea, and it sounds really fun to them, but they just can't. It paralyzes them. They just can't move. Others break the vision down into specific, actionable goals, making it manageable. Vision alone is inspiration, and execution requires massive structure. What I mean by that massive structure is if you have a certain way you live your life today, in order for you to have a high level of success in something else, a lot of things have to switch. A lot of things have to change, and you have to have intrinsic motivation. And those are people who act often feel a deep inner drive inside of themselves, something that feels personal and meaningful and necessary to express. It's not always just having a level of motivation, because that doesn't always do it. In a lot of cases, it doesn't. But what is your internal purpose? What gets you up every day? Those who don't may have dreams that are more external, like social approval or wealth status, which can fade when things get very difficult. To keep that level of motivation in yourself to do it day in and day out creates massive habits and massive discipline. The vision is the spark. The discipline is the engine, the spark that lights the idea that your life can be better, your health can be better, your business, your relationships, your friendships, that they can be better. All the things that drive you is the spark. The thought is the spark, but the discipline of action is the engine that makes this whole thing work. Most people wait to feel motivated. Successful ones build routines that carry them through days when motivation is gone. Motivation is like bathing. You got to do it every day or you start to stink. And so does your level of enthusiasm and excitement for your business. If you're relying completely on just motivation versus the internal spark every day to keep the engine moving, you have to keep dreaming about what it is every single day. Don't let the dream go away, because what happens is this: as soon as the battle starts to beat you down, the motivation starts to go away. The doubt starts to creep in. The fatigue starts to run you thin. And you get to a point where you're like, man, is this really actually even worth it? Is maybe my goals and my dreams of really wanting this really worth going through all the different things that we have to go through? What is your environment and your support like? Like, having role models and mentors and a supportive communities that make a huge difference. Conversely, being surrounded by negative and skepticism or lack of resource can make someone's dream feel absolutely totally impossible. Remember this: you are the average of your 5 closest friends. And we've talked about this on this podcast before, in that in order to have a high level of success, you got to surround yourself with a lot of people, as many people as you can find that support your goals and your dreams. The challenge with it is most people are not that way. Look around. Look at all your friends. And some of you guys know, well, I got some really good friends. Great. You're very fortunate to have a lot of really good, motivated people. But if you're the average of your 5 closest friends, look at who it is you're hanging out with, right? Do you have a strong belief system of people around you? People who act and believe at the core value of what you're trying to figure out. People that are patting you on the back and kicking you in the rear end that says, whatever you do, don't stop. People who carry limiting beliefs often have an upbringing and past experiences or social kind of messages that tell them that they're just not capable or they're just not deserving of. And what that means is, like, I know it sounds weird, but a lot of people are fearful of being successful based on how other people will align with them. Like, are you concerned with being judged by others? You know, I learned this long ago in the businesses that I've ran over the years, especially in the real estate industry where I originally came from. It's interesting because having somebody not like you for something because you had a level of success was very common. People talking about you, they're downplaying you, they're talking negatively to others about you. And sometimes people just do that. And if you're one that really tries to fall in line with what people believe, you're going to have a really hard time succeeding. Sometimes people don't act because the vision isn't truly theirs. It's something they think they want, but in true reality, they really aren't in alignment with it. The difference isn't the dreamers and the doers see things differently and possibilities. It's that the doers learn to move despite of their fear, act with clarity, and stay aligned with what truly matters to them. See, sometimes we think we're getting up to try to do something just to better our life. We have an idea that says, boy, this would be really great if I could accomplish this. But the question that you have is, does your true ambition expose really what you want? Or do you just love the idea of success and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to be successful? Let me explain this to you again. Just because you have a high level of desire to succeed in something, the question is, are you in alignment with what you truly feel passionate about? Would you do this work even if you didn't make a whole bunch of money and didn't have a high level of success? Because one of the hard things I think people go through is they say, gosh, I really want to have all of this, and that's really great, but does that align with who you truly are? Because if it doesn't, then you're going to work every single day with things that you're not passionate about. And then what happens is that ultimately runs its course. When you aim high, it reminds others of the risk that they never took. Instead of cheering you on, they criticize you to protect their own ego. They don't want to see you succeed. People don't like seeing other people succeed. They don't understand your purpose. They don't understand your drive. You have to have a deeper why. Others might only see the surface, money, fame, success, not the passion or the mission driving you to the goal. See, everybody sees the money and the success, but they forget what built it. And what built it was passion. And without passion, success is just luck that won't last. If you have any sort of level of motivation, and that's measurable depending on what you think is successful, that won't last for long periods of time. Without passion, success is just luck that won't last. People admire the outcome and the wealth and the recognition and the success, but overlook the driving force behind it. It's passion that keeps you moving when motivation fades and obstacles arise. See, we talked about being motivated. Motivated is one thing. Passion is what keeps everybody moving forward. Passion is when all the doubters come about and they want to bring you down and pull you down to their level. And your passion is what kicks them off and pushes you up. No matter what happens, you're always going to have a time in your business where you're feeling down and out. And without that level of passion and purpose for your life and the reason that you're doing it, there's absolutely no way success can happen. It can happen for the short term, but it can never happen for the long term. So remember this, passion is what delivers the long-term fuel to keep you moving forward. Success isn't just about strategy or opportunity. It's about passion. People often notice the results, but forget the relentless drive that made it possible. Passion is the quiet force that turns effort into excellence. It's what causes you to stand on the podium at the end and look back and connect all the dots and go, wow, through my passion, I was able to overcome all of the obstacles and fears and challenges and naysayers to the process. That's the cool part about being an entrepreneur. Everybody has a dream to be successful. Everybody should. I would hope they would. But who are the ones that actually make it? See, people prefer the comfort zone. They like the comfort zone. Your desire to grow or do something different threatens the stability of their worldwide view. When you're dealing with people, you have the passion and the drive starts with a dream and a goal and then a passion. See, a lot of people have dreams and goals, but they don't have passion. Most people will sit there and think about what they want, but they don't have the internal passion to see it through. And if you're one of those that has this great idea and you have a lot of fear, that's normal. But do you have the passion? Do you have the fuel that it takes to keep you moving forward? Most people, they project their own limitations. When someone says that that'll never work, what they're really meaning is, I couldn't make that work. They can't do it. Their words are a reflection of the mindset, not your potential. So when someone tries to bring you down, I actually had this, and I've said this on other podcasts before, and I'm actually going to have this person as a guest. His name is John, who came to me with an idea that he had as a dream. It actually was a dream, and he came to me, and this was a long time ago. This was probably 15, 17 years ago. And he came to me with a dream, and as I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I was a naysayer. I was the one that said, you can't, that's the stupidest idea I think I've ever heard. Guy's a multimillionaire today with the idea that he shared with me. And I learned a lesson from that, and that the dream wasn't given to me. It was given to him. I didn't need to see it. He needed to see it. I was the crab in the bucket pulling them down. I was the naysayer that we're talking about. I was the one that wasn't willing to work the length of time and the effort that he worked in order to get that business off the ground. And I saw the passion that he had and the idea that he had. And I'm guessing I might not be the only one that thought it was a really strange idea. And I'm embarrassed to admit that I was one of those people. So remember, you always have to be cautious around people. Don't pay attention to people like me, because it's my opinion doesn't matter. Sometimes people are going to think it's stupid. Sometimes people are going to think it's a great idea. The only one that matters that you think it's a great idea is you. You're the only one that matters. You're the only one that sees it. That dream was given to you. It wasn't given to the negative people like me for the process of trying to uplift you, but my goal was to bring you down. Right? Now, I've learned a lot over the last 17 or 18 years since this happened. But when somebody comes to me with a dream or idea, I'm like, man, I think you should chase after that. Because a lot of times naysayers is they lack the same knowledge or perspective to the idea. If you're one of those people that has this great idea, you might be learning and researching and experimenting while they aren't, right? What seems clear and logical to you can seem unrealistic to those that don't have the same insight. That was me. I didn't have that same insight because it wasn't given to me. Because I don't understand it and I don't see it and I don't have the same insight, how can I be a judge of what it is you're feeling? So just remember that. People love to put others in boxes. They remember who you were and maybe some fear of who you'll become and that you'll leave them behind. Think about that. It's very possible that a lot of people like who you are now. And when you start talking about who you want to become, that might bother them. That really might bother them. They may not want that for you. They may do everything they can in their power to prevent you from succeeding because they don't want you to achieve your goals when all they do is sit back and wonder why they didn't have their goals. You need to accept that not everyone will see your growth. You don't need everyone's validation. The people who are meant to grow will grow with you and recognize your progress over time. It is going to happen over time. I love what Will Smith says, and this is videos I used to watch of Will Smith all the time, and I love what he says. And he says, when I make a decision that I'm going to do something, it's done. Once I've decided it's going to do it, like my friend who decided he wanted this thing and I brought him down, didn't really matter what I thought. He went forward and accomplished his goal, regardless of my negative opinion. And then I love what Will Smith says. He says, when I make a decision, it's already done. It's been finished. I'm just waiting for all of you guys to see it. And my friend who started this great business and who sold it for millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, I look back at his life and his situation. I'm like, well, I guess he showed me. He already knew what he wanted. He was just waiting for me to see it. He already knew this would be his outcome. He was just waiting for all the naysayers to go, oh, wow. So you have to let your results speak louder than your words. Consistency and success eventually make it possible for others to deny your evolution. See, in time, we get proven wrong by how we think and what we say negatively. Don't shrink to fit the old expectations of all people. Don't play it small. Make others comfortable. Don't play small so others feel comfortable. But your growth isn't something to apologize for. Your growth is something that you should expect in yourself. Surround yourself with these people who see your potential, not just your past, not just who you were, but the new environment and the new supportive peers that help you reinforce your forward momentum. Basically, what we're saying is you have to change your friends. You need to surround yourself with people who support your goals. And not everyone's going to support your goals because not everybody sees it. They don't have to see the process because they don't understand what the ultimate result. They don't have to understand what you're going through because they're in their dream. They don't see the result. See, most critics only respect success after it happens. They don't see the grind, the late nights, or even the courage behind the scene. They're not willing to stay up there late. They're not willing to get up early. They're not willing to have sleepless nights. And that's the greatest part about being an entrepreneur and having a great dream. When your friends sometimes say, I'm just looking out for you, it means that I don't want you to surpass me. Not all negative and honest advice sometimes is hidden jealousy. There's a lot of hidden jealousy. And it's not like we're doing it deliberately. It's not like someone's bringing you down deliberately. They're just fearful that you're going to move on without them. Your dreams are too big for small minds. Your dreams are way too big for small minds. Big thinkers make small minds uncomfortable. I'm going to repeat that again. Big thinkers makes small minds uncomfortable. The greater your vision, the fewer people will truly understand it. But those few are all you need. Those are the few that you surround yourself with. Few people are going to see your passion and your desire. Few people are going to be fueled by your excitement. Few people will understand what you're doing. Few people will be supportive. Few people will volunteer to help you at the highest level possible. So remember this. One thing to always, always, always remember is if you're an entrepreneur, most people are not going to support you. Most people are going to be naysayers because of ego, because of jealousy, because they have nothing better to do but to talk about other people. So you can be a talker or you can be a doer. Most people are dreamers. Few people are achievers. But it all starts with a dream. Sometimes there's a lot of fear associated with it, a lot of negativity, a lot of doubt. And on the other side, there's also the dream that comes with excitement, comes with passion, and comes with total drive and determination, regardless of what other people see. Don't fall into the trap of letting other people convince you otherwise. If this is a dream that you've had, go get it. Don't let anybody bring you down and give you words of discouragement towards an idea. I did that. And boy, oh boy, I couldn't be more proud of my friend John, who has had a high level of success in the business, not just in that business, but in other businesses. John and I are friends today. We talk all the time, and he shares stories with me about things and ideas that he has. And I'm like, dude, anybody I know you can do it, you can. No doubt. And everything this guy has touched has been successful. Everything he touches is successful. Never going to doubt him again. And I wouldn't expect him to ever doubt me. I want to hang out with people that support me. He's one of those people. I'm now that person for him. I hope this podcast has helped you today. Remember, success is never convenient. It is not easy. In lots of different topics and areas of growth, it makes it very difficult. But I want to encourage all of you to keep trying, keep working, keep dreaming, and keep being passionate. Hope everyone has a good day.